In this box is a UGRC Dirty South chassis. This is a builder's chassis, which means pretty much you got to figure everything out on your own. I've got a game plan. I've got to come up with the links and all that, but I'm planning to use a capper front end and a 10-3 rear end. Wide front, narrow back, should get through the gates, right? Let's hope so, because you know what? In this video right here, we're going to get into the transmission, and I'm using his transmission, which uses Gen 8 transmission gears. Guys, let's get this started on the table. Let's go. Here's the chassis right here. This is a G10 material. This has proven to be pretty darn tough. So this also has the angled skid, which this skid actually keeps the transmission flat, which is something I really like about this design. So obviously got two of those. This is his transmission right here. Notice this skid right here. See that? Even though it's got the angle, the transmission stays flat. I like that. And this is my first angled skid, or all that. So it's kind of new to me on this. But anyway, Red Cat transmission and transfer case. Parts out of that will go into this transmission, and this is where we're going to spend most of our time for this video right here. But I do want to show you another couple things about that chassis. And those couple things are right here. These are the rear shock mounts. See how that is set up? It's almost infinite rear shock mount ideas and, positioning and all that. Now, as far as cross members and all that goes, well, I get to get creative because this does have to have a body. So, looks like it's set up for normal bumper ends and all that, like out of Axial. I might have a few chassis braces for that I can put into this, but all right, to the transmission. Got to take these apart, get all the internals out, so I'll go ahead and get that done. This transmission I got off of eBay, they must have updated it because these are all the steel gears. So that was actually a nice thing to see. And remember when these first came out, we're having problems with the outdrive at the transfer case. It was rounding the pin off inside the output gear. Well, the input gear is what it was. So what we had to do was print a spacer. Well, now it actually has a spacer in there, so that's pretty cool. But all metal gears, I was not expecting that. I was expecting plastic. So now we get to put them all into here. First up is putting the bearings in place. Notice this recess. This is for a nut because this goes on with the motor mounts and all that to hold everything in place. Very nice. When you're assembling the transmission, this is what you're going to end up with right here. So this right here will actually give you about 20% overdrive at the transmission. So, yep, that front drive shaft will be spinning a little bit faster than the back. There's a little bit of Dremel work on the front because this output shaft right here has to get cut off. And there you go. That one's done beautifully, I might add. I went ahead and got that one out as well since I won't be using that. Now we got the first of the two motor plates going on. Up next will be the spur gear. Very nice setup. I'm really happy with how this is coming together. Got the spur gear on. Added some shims to the back side of the shaft like that. Then I added the cone washers. You can see 3 of them in the back and 2 of them up front. This transmission had 5 of them on it. So that's the way that is set up. Everything clears beautifully. I get to continue on with the build. I gotta admit, very smooth running transmission. Very impressive. This part right here, I'm going to change up a little bit. The design calls for a long bolt through the threads, through this and into the threaded of the nut. That's a whole lot of thread. So what I've done is I'm using a 3mm set screw into the nut. So that is in there, basically creating a stud. This will go on top of that, and then the plate will just simply screw into this with a short screw. Just like that right there. Check this out right here. Very, very nice. Really like this. Now, this is kind of a hint. It's probably going to get something along the lines of this. Not sure if it'll be a 2500 or what, but definitely going to get a revolver of some kind in a Chrome Master MIDI. Yeah. I like it. Let's weigh this thing in. With the revolver motor, let's see what we got here. We are 264 grams, 9.3 ounces. This is the skid right here. The mount goes just like that. Check out the progress, guys. Look at that. Perfectly flat in the chassis. That's nice. I've seen a lot of them with all the kick up and the angle center and all that. And the rear drive shaft just being such a horrible driveline angle. So this is a welcome sight right here. I like it. So this is pretty much where we're going to end this video right here, because it was all about the transmission chassis. I've got those just kind of stuck in there. They won't be there when I get everything set up. Axle housings, you know, get all those set up into here. Got to figure out my links. The rear shock mounts, they can pretty much go anywhere you could possibly want back here. I mean, just options are unlimited for shock mounts in the back. That's awesome. Front, that'll work for me perfectly. So yeah, little by little, I got to tell you guys, I'm really enjoying this more than the Predator chassis. This is a very, very nice chassis setup. And I love how the transmission and all is straight. Hopefully I don't end up with my jagged rocks or concrete. Hopefully that doesn't become like a big hook. Hopefully it don't. We'll find out. Well, guys, I can tell you I like this chassis. And I know you guys have already seen it in the build. I love how the transmission stays level. That's a big thing for me. So I just hope that this right here isn't an issue on my jagged rocks. Now, as far as the axles go, oh, and by the way, that transmission is actually really nice. Much nicer than what I had expected, in all honesty. But yeah, real happy with that. The rear axle, SEX 10.3. This is going to be Portal, like I believe I mentioned during the build. The front is going to be a Capra. So, yeah. Wide up front, narrow in the rear. Like I said, when you're driving in competition, you can position your front around. You can't exactly position the rear. So, if it's narrow, you can squeeze through that gate without hitting it. So, that's a big bonus in my opinion. Now, there's a 20% overdrive on that transmission. So, it's going to be interesting where I end up on the overdrive, because I've got the stock gears, the stock Portal gears in the back right here. The front, I could put stock Portal gears on it, but I think it'll, with the reduction of all that, I believe it'll actually give me like a 10% overdrive. So, probably going to have to still do some overdrive gears in the front axle of this thing. Yeah, definitely got some work to do. Got to figure out the links. And this one will more than likely, once I get this thing up and running, you know, I got to get it running. I got to figure out the body mounts, all that stuff. It's more than likely going to get a creep body as well. Since I've got one, I've had it in the closet now for, I don't know, months. May as well put it to use. So, but anyway, this thing right here, I got high hopes for it. I think it's going to be phenomenal. Guys, in that description, I'll link up UGRC, and I'll try to link up some parts and pieces that I've got ordered for it myself. So make sure you check that out. AMain, eBay, Amazon, and Horizon. They are affiliate links. So guys, use those links. Make sure you subscribe, give it a big thumbs up, and thank you all for watching. If you're still watching, you are top shelf. You are the cream of the crop, the pick of the litter. You are phenomenal. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. Now, down below, there are links for the products you see, Also for channel memberships, if you guys want to be a part, channel members get early viewing on pretty much everything that I can. So guys, check that description. There's a lot of info down there. Thank you all for watching.